Hey YouTube family, this is the face behind Mary Got Unfiltered YouTube channel. This is my very first video ever showing the face behind all the videos and the voice and the music that I put together on this channel. Now, I would like to say that I do really appreciate all the different views that I have received on this channel, all the different subscribers, and along the way of creating this channel, I was going through a growth phase. And I'm now with my face showing now, I'm going to upload videos, kind of take you on the walk of some of the different things from the past of me creating this YouTube channel, the whole mission behind it, and then where I'm at now with unveiling a lot of different things, which starting out with the face. A lot of people, when they start their YouTube channel, they decide between two things, whether they want to reveal their face or they remain behind whatever animation they're showing you. Well, when I first started this YouTube channel, I did want to establish the unfiltered part of different things that sometimes in life we try to filter a lot of things. Um, and great, and I mean, it makes sense to do that because you have to be kind of very much well protected or very much well. It's kind of like setting a boundary for yourself until you're to that stage of really knowing what comes along with it. Because there are a lot of things, as we can all witness from several other people, either we watch on some of the real life shows or reality shows or just entertainers when they put their face and their family business out there, it can be easily scrutinized. And so you just have to kind of protect yourself in your heart and know your boundaries and your limits when you're doing that. So, needless to say, not that the fact that I chose not to do a face brand on my YouTube channels when I started out, it was more so, and I can get more in detail about that on a later video, but just kind of explaining why now all of a sudden am I doing a video with my face? Well, it'll take step by step with several other videos to kind of get to that. So I did want to kind of show that I am appreciative of all the views that I've received. Little old me, in a small town in Georgia, um, just a normal human being, a mother, uh, ex-wife, um, teacher, past teacher, now in a different career. There's just so many different things that I would want to share with you more that I feel like I'm able to share with you. And hopefully someone else can relate to it. I'm sure there's going to be people that can relate to some of the content that I'm going to share. I'm just now walking into an unfiltered, like truly unfiltered part of my life. And I feel like by unveiling a lot of things, it brings about freedom, it brings about growth. And although I have gone through different levels and stages of growth over the past years since starting this YouTube channel, and I have to look back on when I actually started this YouTube channel. I don't think it might have been right around 2021, and I can kind of now go back and share some of the different things that have happened past then or since then and so forth. So me showing my face and making videos on my channel going forth, maybe later down the line, I might continue some of the videos that doesn't really have my face on it or whatever the case may be. But I'm just at a different stage of growth, which for me, not saying that it's necessary for you to do it this way in order to continue to grow. But for me in my personal walk and my journey of life here on earth, I'm just at a different stage where I do need to kind of birth out some things, and that's gonna require me to be a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more transparent, a little bit more willing, a little bit more visible, than kind of being behind the animations and the PowerPoints and the slides and so forth. So I did want to start off this video with that. And then another thing, the main reason of this video is to kind of share where I'm going to with these videos is I'm going to be sharing some goals and different things. So anyone who's interested in going along a life journey of growth with me can kind of see firsthand. And then it's also for myself to hold myself accountable with these goals to continue them throughout and being accountable for it as well. So it's kind of my form of documentation of same way when I used to do journaling, like writing down different things, is kind of setting it in stone and making it plain and holding you accountable, because now you can later down the line pull back, even if you don't continue it or commit to it or finish it out, you'll be able to go back to that notebook, which I've done that just recently. I found some of my other notebooks that I wrote some list of goals down. I'm like, that was in 2024. And I don't know if I did all of those things, but it kind of holds yourself accountable, because now I'm looking back like, man, I really set out to do these set goals and I didn't accomplish them. So what can I do? What would be a different way to strategize it? And so as I was sitting down tonight, I'm getting to the whole gist of this video. As I was sitting down tonight, regrouping myself, not being too harsh on myself for not meeting some of those past goals or following through with them, or continue. Some of them I've accomplished them, but I didn't continue. Like once you meet that goal, you don't just, some goals you need to continue throughout. And so after seeing all of that and noticing that I didn't kind of follow through on a lot of those, and I kind of slacked off on a lot of different things, I was sitting down today, and I love notebooks, and I took down my notebook and I'm writing down my May 2025 goals. I'm not trying to make it too long of a list, because I am by nature a person who really is an overachiever. So I have to be very self-aware of that, to make sure that I'm not just, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this. Then before I know it, I have about 20 different things written down, and it's like shooting for the stars. I'm very highly motivated and I will find a way to get it done. But at the same time, I'm not trying to burn myself out. So I want this to be something that I can continue throughout. It's kind of like the tortoise and the hare, how the tortoise is actually smarter and in a way faster than the hare, because sometimes when you try to do things too quick and too fast, you're not able to last. You get tired, you get burnt out. And then the tortoise, who are gradually making progress, they're able to sustain it further because they have endured the race, just like the scripture says. To persevere, we gotta give ourselves that endurance. And sometimes it's not about how fast you run that race, is whether or not you're going to endure that race. And so that's just something in the back of my mind that I have to make myself aware of, just knowing myself and how I move through life on all areas. Is I am very much highly motivated, to the point that I will literally really try to achieve all, or even more so with my list, I'll try to overachieve, sorry. So with that being said, I kept my list very short. I would say maybe about 5. Really, I put down 6, but really it's 5 different goals for the month of May. And I try to make them very specific. Some of us may not have heard of the SMART goals. Make sure that it's specific, make sure that it's measurable, make sure that you can assess it, make sure that it is reasonable, and then give it a time limitation, so that you don't have a goal just written out there and then you don't even know when you're going to do it, so then there's no way to really assess it. So I try to make it very short and sweet. And there's like 6 points here. So I'll share them with you, because that's the whole point of me unveiling myself on my YouTube channel, is so that I can kind of take this journey along with whomever might be of interest to it. And then as it kind of grow, hopefully when I look back on this at the end of this month, or each day that I do it, I've noticed that I'm working towards my goal. And then also, a part of creating a YouTube channel, or even trying to grow your YouTube brand, it actually is hitting some of my goals that I have here. And I'll share my goals with you. And if there is anyone out there that maybe you feel like you've been stagnant, or maybe there is like, for example, everybody have a New Year resolution goal, or goals, or you might have something that you want to achieve by the end of the year. You get tired of the time just going by. They say time waits on nobody. Time is going to keep rolling along no matter whether you roll around with it. It's just going to take you along if the good Lord will and allows us to be present for another day. Time just keeps going by. And so I know for me, I try not to use the word you have to, because a lot of times I want to be self-reflected on myself, and then whomever is watching or listening to me, they can decide whether it is applicable to them. I don't want to be the person that's telling people what you need to do. I want to speak through myself, and then you yourself, listening to how I am speaking to myself about certain things. That was just me kind of stopping myself from, projecting. No, I have to be mindful of those things. And so it's just a life lesson. This life that we're living here on earth, we want to do the best. I know I'm saying we want to do, but I would want to do. I have to stop myself from saying that, because it's just a learning growth to try to not project it on others, and just making sure that I'm aware that I'm speaking to myself. I am speaking to other people. I hope I'm not losing anybody here, but I'm kind of trying to catch myself in some of my word choices. If you're kind of following along with why I'm stopping and kind of trying to catch myself from saying you have to or we have to, I want to make sure that I am holding myself accountable and not trying to point the finger at what other people should be doing. So that was just a growth, and I can expound more on that. That was one of the different things that I have taken the time to take a step back and observe myself, and to reflect on myself and my past, present actions. And that's something I know I want to work on. So that's a note that I try to stop myself from saying what you have to, or I'm going to make it more about and then you yourself can decide whether you have to. Because there's a lot of influencers that, and I'm not going to even try to point that out, to be quite honest. That's not what I'm here to do, because that's also doing the same thing. But I noticed online that there are a lot of people that tend to tell other people what to do. And in life, we can only control ourselves. So I want to start with myself first. And then through the reflection of myself, maybe someone for themselves can see how it can be applicable to their life. I don't want to be the person telling people, you need to do this, because to be honest, we're all unique. Life is so different for all of us. And being that we are unique, we're going through unique paths on this earth. And what might fit for me might not fit for you. You. You're responsible for getting to know you while you're here on this earth. Be aware of yourself. I am responsible for being aware of myself. And so how can I can share my experiences and hope that maybe some people, will relate to it and it might help them. They'll have to find their way and how it helps them. But that's kind of going on a tangent. That's just me just trying to be more accountable within myself. So now, getting back to the whole gist of this video, I don't want to make this video too long, but if it tends to be long, I guess that's just what it was meant to be. And I'm not going to do too much editing on these videos, because that's another thing of my channel is wanting to be unfiltered. I'm wanting to kind of break out of the shell of being just all the way behind. You're going to get what you get on this channel. No makeup. I mean, I could put on makeup, but that's just not my day-to-day thing. Anybody who does, that's their own, their thing. Not trying to come on here dressed a certain way. Actually, it's nighttime here at this very moment that I'm recording this video. And if I were on my schedule plan, I would actually be in the bed. But then something just prompted me while I was jotting down my goals, and then I started working on one particular goal on here that I have on my list for the month of May. And it said, you know what? You need to just make a video. It just came to my mind. Like, you could put it on your YouTube channel. You could, kind of document your journey through this. And a lot, and when I hear things like that, I want to actually put it into action, like, because there's a reason why that was put on me to do that. So I want to make sure that I actually just follow through, and then let the rest be what it's going to be, because you just never know who it might benefit. So I hope I didn't take you around the loop with all of my talking and so forth and so on. But again, you can comment down below in the comments. If you looked at any of my other videos, I respond to those responses, even if you don't like it or if you have any suggestions or so forth and so on. Um, I'm not here to really adapt to what many people have to say, because I know what I have in my mind to do. But at the same time, we're here on this earth together. And so we're here to draw from each other whatever we feel might align with where we're headed, So I'm not opposed to anyone and making different comments below. So just let me know what you think of this video. Would you be interested in watching this video or any more videos similar to this? Or just any comments in general. Anything pretty much would be better than nothing. So just to kind of give me some type of insight on your takeaways, because that kind of fuels the fire to know, okay, somebody related to that. So you know what? I might need to dive more deeper on that story, kind of sharing my experiences and so forth. Maybe it'll help whomever relates to that story or whatever that experience is for me. All right, so again, I'm trying to cover, I guess I'm kind of going on different tangents because I'm actually going live and I don't have a script or anything that I'm going to be going by. So I might kind of be going around in loops. The way that my brain works is I just think on so many different paths at the same time. And I'm like, I want to make sure I'm making it clear. So I kind of pause myself on moments when I'm talking about things just to try to reiterate or try to further explain what I'm saying and where it's coming from. So I hope it's making some sense here. But anyone who would love to go along this journey with me, I am a notebook lover. Like, I have so many notebooks. I don't know. It just excites me. It very much will excites me. And my love for journaling actually started in fourth grade. It actually started in school. One of my teachers my fourth grade teacher used to have us do journals every morning. It was a routine. She'll put a prompt on the board and then you have to answer it. One day I'll actually share it because I have like a bin full of things. Like when I go to church, I took notes for years. I've taken notes on sheets of paper. So maybe in the process of me doing these videos, I'll be able to share that. I even have my fourth grade notebook still in that bin in my closet where it shows some of the different prompts. But from that moment, I love writing in notebooks. And since then, even though I got so many notebooks, I might even share how many notebooks I like. You'll be like, wow. Yeah, so I have so many notebooks, like even just like regular spiral notebooks, nothing in particular fancy about it. It doesn't have to be a template journal book. You can take any notebook, any sheet of paper, a binder, and put loose leaf paper in there and write it down. But if you would want to go along with me, I would, in my opinion, it helps me. I'll let you decide whether it'll be something that you want to do, but it helps me to actually have a notebook and write it down. And like, even though I have other notebooks that I've started writing down, like when I was saying I was looking at some of my old notebooks and I noticed that the goals that I wrote down on those, if I were to assess myself today on whether or not I think that I actually accomplished those goals, I did not. Even though in that notebook, I didn't even finish and I made it so nice and colorful. Something about starting fresh just excites me. It's like a clean slate. It's like not trying to take what I didn't accomplish with me, but also learning from it. So I took a new notebook that I did not write in yet, and on the first page, since this is the end of April, I'm already planning out my goals for May, and I made 6 bullet points. So I kind of do a supplementary job on the side. And so my first goal is based off of that is where I'm going to try to at least earn $2,000 for that job. And then you might have seen it in my video, but I'll share what that particular job is. I actually have a main job, 9 to 5 job, that pays pretty well. It pays my bills and everything, and I'm able to live a comfortable life with the son. And but I do have that, and I've started that since 2021-ish, I believe. And I can go more in detail on, there's so many stories along that supplementary job. But I'm at least trying to make $2,000 extra in a month. And then some people might say that's not a lot, but considering that I only do it on the weekends, I guess that's pretty good to make $2,000 just for the weekend. And if some people are interested in knowing what that particular job is, just stay tuned to some of my other videos that I will later be able to expound more on them. So my first goal is to earn at least $2,000 for that supplementary job. My second goal for the month of May is to pay off a credit line that I have. I have several things actually, but I am a budgeter. Like, I've budgeted. I love it. Like, I'm a plan. My brain works like that. I have to plan it out. Like, I have a spreadsheet. I have a budgeted sheet. I'm actually gonna share it real quick because I have it right here, the bed. So yeah. And I know you're not going to be able to see this. It's not really meant for you to see this. But I just took a piece of paper and I drew my lines with my ruler. I'm not flashing it so you can see it, but it's like a gridded format. And I have literally planned out my budget for the most part all the way until 2027. Because I know things that I want to pay off or things that I have that I want to get them paid off. And a lot of times I try to pay things off early. So using my math skills, problem solving skills, I can figure out a way, hey, how can I get this paid off? What do I need to do to get this paid off? And that kind of goes back to my supplementary goal. So it just really excites me because I know where I'm at. I know where I'm going. I know when I get off track. I know how I can get back on track. It just helps me a lot. So one of my goals is one of the snowball steps. And by snowball, if you look it up on Google, snowball is when you start with one thing, then you snowball it into another. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I use like the snowball analogy with my budget. So when I'm paying off bills, I start off with the smallest amount. I pay off the one that is the cheapest one because I can just pay that off. Like, I might can pay a few of those off. And then I take whatever money that was for that month and add it to the next bill that I want to pay it off so I can pay that one off. Then it kind of snowballs, like all that money that I've paid off already on those 2 bills, I can add it on to the next one and pay that one off. And then eventually I'm going to be able to pay all these bills off and be back where I was prior to accruing all these bills. Because there was a point in time, and I can go more in details about that because there's so many different things with that one goal that I could kind of share based on my experiences with budgeting and so forth. So my first goal again is earn at least $2,000 on a supplementary job that I have, which is not, that's just one thing that I have on the side, but there's other things that I'm going to add into my goal list that I need to actually be more intentional about making money from, or not even just about making money, but just it's something that I have passion to do. So I would want to start utilizing my full set of skills that I have and really like diving into fully utilizing all of my skill sets because I have quite a lot and I don't feel like I'm really utilizing them all at 100%. So I would love to do that. So that's number 2. And then number 3, we always have, females, we want to we have those health goals. So I could not leave that off. So and there's a story behind that. There's like so many different stories that I can go in more detail about it. And I know it's kind of a touchy subject when we start talking about health goals and weight, but this is for me. And I know everybody have their own personal perception of, oh, you might not need this, or oh, yeah, you do, da 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 da. But this is my personal goal, is to lose at least 10 pounds. And that's not all the amount of pounds that I need to lose or that I would want to lose. I'm not going to say need to lose, because I know when we start talking about weight and things like that and health goals, we're probably on different pages with that. But I know for me, myself, just like I said from the beginning, I'm just expressing my experience and my goals, and then whomever feel like it's applicable to them or they want to also try as well, I'll leave that up to your discretion to do that. But for me, I kind of give you a little background somewhat of this particular goal. Every year, pretty much, I can say that I have worked towards a better health. And it just is something that I would want for myself as I'm getting older, or even if I was just getting younger, I would just want to be healthy, healthier. Why not be healthier if I can be healthier? Why not make my life better health wise if I'm able to do that? Wherever my health falls, I feel like I can at least try to make it better. So with that being said, I just feel like it's a great goal for me to work towards, because I really don't desire for myself to be unhealthy or to ever get to a position where I could have done something to possibly prevent or make a situation better, but I lack the knowledge to do so in a timely fashion. And then when it's quote unquote too late, you the damage is done. And then I still feel like there's always hope. As long as you have breath in your body, there's always hope, no matter where you are on the scale of your health, or whatever people say is good health, bad health, whatever scale you want to use. There's always room to grow, and that's in every area of life. So for me, that is a very goal. It's a goal that I'm very passionate about. I might have fluctuated on it again and again and again, but I never lose hope. And so this is me trying it a different way, where I'm being open to people that I may have seen or may not have seen, to let you know that I'm willing to be vulnerable about it. So maybe it'll help someone else be vulnerable about it enough to self-reflect and see if for themselves they would want to try to do the same thing. And I could share some different things that I've done, not to even tell anybody what they should do, because again, I leave it to your discretion. But at the same time, hopefully something relates to you that it will help you. And I'm sure it's definitely going to help me, so that's my third goal, is to lose at least 10 pounds, which is not directed towards just the weight, but this overall goal is a health goal. I have an overall goal to be healthier. And a part of being healthier for me right now is I have to focus on losing some pounds. I have to focus on um, continue my gym regimen, like going to the gym each day through the week and so forth and so on. But for this particular month, I just wanted to focus on, okay, let me get me jump started to losing 10 pounds, which I think is a reasonable amount of goal or pounds to drop in a month time, because I think they say maybe 1 or 2 pounds per week, from researching and studying from, different stories that I can share later about health goals. Is I think it's reasonable. So again, I made that goal pretty reasonable. All right, so I already know what my start weight is, and I will say that because I want to be accountable. My start weight is 239. I am 5'7", 5'8". So I guess I should say 5'7.5". I say 5'7", 5'8" because sometimes I say I'm 5'7". Most of the times I probably tell people I'm 5'7", more so than 5'8". I think even on my license I put 5'7". But you can kind of do the math and kind of figure out that the BMI is a little high, even for my height. So I want to get that down, because that can ward off a lot of different things that I'm so grateful that I don't have, but I could have. And if I did have, I would still be working towards being a better and healthier me. So that's my third goal for the month of May. My fourth goal, I am in programming. And there's a story behind that. Man, as much as I'm talking on this video, I'm realizing all of my goals have so many stories that I can just share. I told at the beginning, I don't know if you caught it, but I said I was a teacher and I transitioned into programming, which was actually my first major when I was in college. And there's a whole story I can share about that, but just to keep it short. So I'm in so I started in 2022 is when I made the transition. There's a big story behind that one that I would love to share with any listening ear that's willing to listen, because everybody has you know what I've noticed about in life. I love hearing people's life story, and everybody has a life story that is, I just love understanding people and not just judging them based on what their behaviors are that you're seeing, but understanding what has transpired behind. Everybody has a life story, and it's just, I love watching those documentaries and biopics or reading books about people in their their biography, and just learning about what people go through in life. And so there is a lot of stories to every single one of these goals. And I'm sure if you're going to write down your goals for yourself, you're going to find out that there are a lot of stories for each of one of your goals that you set that you possibly could help someone along the way, or just share, free yourself from being scared to share, or embarrassed to share, or ashamed to share, whatever the case may be. Just free yourself from being that, because there is actually a whole lot of growth that comes from plucking up the weed, you know, clearing out the plane for everybody to, there's just so much growth that can come from that. Yeah, you can still grow when there's weed there, but you probably could grow a whole lot better or a whole lot more with that weed plucked up. So just, be transparent, have boundaries though, that's what I had to do. It took me time to kind of get to this point. So everybody use your own discretion with how you choose to deal and handle things. But that's just a point I want to point out. So my fourth goal is related to my career change. So I am now programming, and I was like a little rusty. I still remember, I still have it in me, because my mind kind of thinks in that logical format of how things work, and how you can use math to make things work when you're programming. But I do want to become more, what's the word? I want to become an expert leveled programmer as much as possible. I don't know if you guys, well, I'm sure you guys have heard of, sometimes we feel, what is the word for it? Sometimes your mind can trick you into feeling as if you are not competent in some things. And so my way to kind of combat that feeling is, okay, I'm going to listen to the fact that I might feel like I might be lagging a little bit in this area, but guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to work on getting better with it. So that way that can't be used anymore in my mind, because I'm actually trying to do something about it. If I'm going to feel as though I'm not so good with, so spiffy, I guess, like advanced and doing all the embedded queries and so forth and so on, I'm going to set a goal to where I'm going to work on that. So I know on Microsoft Online, they have several programs. You can go to Udemy. I'm sure they have a lot of online courses, probably some YouTube channels that go over it. But I actually want to go through Microsoft's, and there's so many different things, and I could share those. Anybody who piques their interest. But SQL is what we use at my job, and it's kind of like the cornerstone to a lot of programming when you're dealing with database. So I do want to become more knowledgeable about, there are so many different functions that you could use. just so much that you can do. And I would just want to learn. I just want to get better. So that's my fourth goal, is to start a SQL course on Microsoft to advance my skills with programming. So that's 4 goals. And then 5, I want to read, study, and meditate on discipline. That is my key word throughout this um until I feel like, okay, got it. But that could take me to the end of my life, pretty much. Discipline, having discipline. And then my 6th goal is kind of like underneath that, is not only am I going to read, study, and meditate on discipline, I want to implement discipline in all areas of my life. So that's part of this channel, of me actually coming on here and being more consistent, probably on some of my videos. If you watch some of them, I've said on a few of them that, hey, I need to be more consistent. I need to be more, when you're putting out content, having discipline, which consistency kind of sits underneath that. It takes you a long way. No matter anybody, no matter if no one watches it, no matter if anybody likes it, no matter if anybody subscribes, no matter if they comment on the bottom of it, just knowing, okay, this is something that I want to do. I'm going to post it out, because you just never know the day that will come where people, it might be a video, maybe the 100th video that you create that sparks the interest of someone. And then next thing you know, they're going to go to your YouTube channel and they're going to be able to have all these other 99 videos that you've posted that nobody watched yet. And they're like, how nobody ever watched this video? It's very interesting. So discipline and consistency, that's just one example of it. But having discipline is self-control, self-discipline. That is my focal point with my goals. So I definitely wanted to make that part of my goal for this month. And then as I was actually starting on that goal by reading, found me a scripture. It always takes me back to the fruits of the Spirit. One of those is self-control, which to me is discipline, self-control, self-discipline. And so I wrote that scripture down, Galatians 5:23 through 22 through 23. And then I started going on Google and was writing down. I wanted to definitely make sure I wrote down the definition of discipline. Sometimes we know what the word discipline is, but sometimes when you write down that definition, it gives you that stamp like, yes. It gives you a checklist of things, of attributes that I'm going to need to embody or work towards having more of. And it gives me more of an example of how I can reach my goal of implementing. I'm learning more about discipline, so therefore I can become more disciplined. So that's my gist. So I think I've kind of made it through. And so that's when I stopped. I was like, oh my goodness, I just felt ignited to share this. So I prompted myself to make this video. It prompted me to make this video, and here I am now, where I'm supposed to really be in the bed because I have myself on a schedule so that I can reach my health goal. I got to get up in the morning at 5 o'clock, and I kind of share about that as well. So with that being said, I'm about to close this video, about to post it on my online. So I'm going to post it before the night is up. It's just going to be a post, and it's going to be uncut and raw, raw, uncut, raw, and unfiltered. And if you like it, if you're interested in it, comment below. Subscribe so you can get notifications, because I am, with me having these goals, each day I'm going to come back to this book and I'm going to read through my goals again, and then I'm going to reassess myself on, okay, so I'm working towards that goal because I did this today. So I'm working towards that goal because I did this today. And I might even get fancy because I love Excel sheets. I might even go overboard, and probably I need to prompt myself to not go too overboard and make me a nice little spreadsheet where I can just check off every single day. I just love a checklist because it really holds me accountable and I can actually see that I did it. Like just having a check mark, it just makes you feel good that you actually can see that you accomplished something when your mind might try to make you think that you're not accomplishing anything. So I'm just going to find a way to make it not be too overboard, but to where I'm able to actually see, okay, this day I actually worked on this. This day I actually worked on this. I might even do me a journal book, a little small little journal each day where I just, whatever's on my heart, I'll write and then go from there. But if you're interested on taking this journey with me, or if you're interested on following my journey with this, or if you're whatever the case may be, you can comment below, you can like this video, you can subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. I'll see you guys tomorrow, actually, because I am committed to my goals. And hopefully, if you are, you can do the same. Write your goals down and kind of follow along with me, and we can kind of have a conversation in the comments about your goals and so forth and so on. Thank you so much for watching my video. Good night.